Shane, great to have you on the podcast.
Thanks for having us, lads.
We're after working up an appetite now as well, so delighted to have you on.
I was just seeing all these sauces just dropped on the table, and I'm just wondering, where's the wings?
They're coming. We have the apprentices cooking them.
Yeah. Thanks to Josh and Dan for looking after the wings first.
Lads, fair play.
And, first thing we'll get into is the name, Little Red Sauces. Where did that come from?
It's named after my dad. One of his nicknames back in the day was Big Red because he's tall, a lot taller than I am, redhead fella. At least I think he's my dad going off looks. No, but that was his nickname back in the day, Big Red. And he introduced me to the world of cooking and spices years ago. I'm lucky enough that he had the passion for cooking as well. So he put that on to me. And I just thought about it for years. If we could ever set something up, I'd like to give him the hat tip. And to be honest, I just thought Little Red it's a good name for a sauce company. So it was a win-win.
Seems safe, but dangerous at the same time.
No, it's got mixed reviews, but for the better, it's positive. And then obviously the harp at the centre of it, the Irishness was just trying to combine both.
Yeah, no, it's a cool logo.
It's great. And you mentioned there, obviously, your father and the passion for cooking and stuff like that. But would that have been something that, through, say, your childhood growing up, or even when you're in school, that you would have had in the back of your mind that this was something you were going to pursue?
Kind of, yeah. So my mom and dad were very lucky enough that they travelled the world quite a bit growing up, and I think that was instilled in myself and my brothers and my sister to travel, and if you can, and we're very lucky that we had the opportunities to. I lived abroad for about 10 years and picked a few things up, but I think he definitely showed me or helped me get my passion for cooking. I've always loved barbecuing or cooking for friends and family. I never thought about getting into it, but I did. There was part of me thinking about going into culinary arts when I left secondary school, but I decided just going straight business studies and NCI. I don't know, probably a bit of a chicken. I didn't fancy it at the time, but I never thought.
Excuse the pun,
but no, I never thought I'd get into this. Now, but looking back on it after doing this for about 3 or 4 years, can kind of think of moments like the first ever sauce, if you'd even call it a sauce, that I made was I used to get ketchup, chili flakes and Tabasco, mix that together, and I used to mill that. Which, remember the old Phileas Fogg, Chris, or Phileas Fogg?
Yeah.
The blue and red ones. They were lovely chats now, but I used to just mill them when I was younger. But that I only realised I remembered that about a year ago. So I never actually thought I'd be doing this down the line. I'm delighted I am, but I just kind of fell into it, to be honest.
What does it take, in the transition between being in your own house or your own kitchen, putting a few different ingredients together and developing a sauce, compared to then actually having to provide that sauce to a consumer? Is there a lot of red tape involved to get that from, the kitchen desk to somebody else's table?
Yeah, great question. So the short of it is yes. I'm lucky that you could technically do what I'm doing now from your home, and a lot of small producers do. And there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, I invested in a very small production facility, if you'd call it that. So it just gave me the freedom to come work every day of the week, work late if I want. But there is quite a bit of red tape, but I wouldn't use it in a negative connotation. It's there for protection.
For a reason, yeah.
It's there for a reason, you do engage with the local enterprise office, and they help you with health and safety, but then it's up to you as the food producer to follow the FSAI, the Food Safety Association of Ireland guidelines, and put in a proper HACCP plan and follow it. And when I first got going, you can kind of be like, why the hell do I need to do this? I'm making sauce, I've been making it for years. I've never killed anyone. But you're selling it to the public, if you don't follow the same procedure, don't follow strict to an extent, but you get used to it after a while. But if you don't follow that red tape or work within the rules, you could end up hurting someone down the line, especially with allergies and cross contamination. So there is a bit, but it's worth it in my mind. But if you asked me that 3 years ago when I was trying to get up and going, I'd be like, it's a load of shite. Yeah.
Was there any particular moments that you felt you were getting a breakthrough with the business and, you know, the creation of the sauces?
Yeah, so there's been a few which I haven't actually thought about. So I've been doing this company for about 4 years. We've been on the shelves in retail for 3 years, which is mad to think about. I took part in the Super Value Food Academy. It's the oldest food enterprise or entrepreneurship program in Ireland, provided by or created by Super Value and Musgraves. I think they're 12 years now or 11 years. But I entered that and got into that, and that was a big moment for me because you're working with the biggest retailer, one of the biggest retailers in Ireland.
Yeah.
Nothing was set in stone. There was still at the very start of the company in our journey. But to be able to work with them and then get the support and mentorship from them, that was a huge moment for me. And then obviously seeing the sauces on the shelf it's still mind blowing. Like I'm still going into the shops and restocking, and I still don't get used to seeing our product. Yeah, it's still a bit mad. Like I'm obsessed with hot sauce, obviously, if I've fallen into this now, but to see my product up against some of the big ones and even some of the Irish brands who are big, but like even against Tabasco or Cholula or any of the international brands, it's mad, you know. And then we have won a few awards as well over the years, which has been really incredible. Blas na Hearn Award and Irish Quality Food and Drink Awards, which, to be honest, you enter because you have to, but I just never expected to win them. Not that I didn't have or don't have faith in my products, but you don't want to go in big-headed and then get disappointed. So I'd say they were some of the big milestones, and then getting recognition from other retailers and other like chefs or food producers or food companies in across Ireland. Like
just keeps the push on.
100%, yeah. And then also, as I mentioned, like I've been cooking for my friends and family for years, and I love that moment where you cook for someone and they actually enjoy it, and they like it. So it's like getting to do that like every day almost. If you hear people reaching out to you, or when you're doing tastings in store, I love them. You know, you're meeting new people, but you also get real life, real time feedback.
I can imagine,
and it's not always good, which is great. Like I'm all for the crack. Like, you know, you'll have some people ripping into you.
I'm sure you can take stuff away from that though as well. Like
100%, yeah. But you do learn. So off the back of that, when I was doing the taste a few years ago, hot sauce and spicy stuff is growing now in Ireland, but even 3 years ago it was a smaller demographic. So I'd be going into the shops and someone in the shops like just recommended to mix them with mayonnaise, and I did. So you mix any of the products apart from the salsa with mayonnaise, and they become really nice additional sauces.
Yeah,
you get all the flavour, but it removes a bit of the heat. And I wouldn't have realised that, or I probably would have down the line, but it came to me a lot earlier in the journey off the back of someone saying it to me. So it's like moments like that really mean a lot. And I love Irish people and people from Dublin, especially because I'm predominantly just going around Dublin at the moment.
Yeah.
Once they might say, they don't like spice, but then they'll hear me saying, I'm making these myself. They'll grab a bottle even if they don't like it, you know, just to support you. So it's nice to have that as well.
Yeah.
And there's a big thing and there's a big push on now to try and keep, you know, all consumers inclusive when they're going to the supermarkets and they're buying their products. And, you know, you'll see all these gluten-free oils, and you'll see a lot of products now, like pushing that now, like in order to try and get, you know, every consumer involved with their items. Is that something that you try to do to keep people included within your products?
Kind of yes and no. Like I'd agree with you. There's definitely that push at the moment. So a bit of background. So I was making sauce for years, and I was living in London at the time, and I was draining bottles of hot sauce every couple of days. And I was at the same time and not connected. I was having stomach issues, so I kind of had to reevaluate what I was eating, and I wasn't going to give up the hot sauce. You know? So
something else I'd take to hear.
Yeah, well, that and the drink stayed along. So, but no, anyway, I just started doing a bit of research into some of the ingredients in some of these sauces, and there's some studies that say that mixing agents such as xanthan gum and other ingredients that a lot of mass-produced sauces use, if you're consuming a lot of them, which I was, like a couple of bottles every week, it could lead to further stomach issues. So I decided to set myself a challenge to create a range that everyone could have. Like my sister's gluten intolerant. I have a lot of friends who are properly allergic to gluten. I think Ireland has one of the highest populations of gluten intolerance in the world. And from a business point of view, if I could create something that everyone can have, then it's a bigger market to go for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of did, but it wasn't like the main objective, if you will.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't one of the objectives or the goals of creating a sauce. The first thing was to make a nice sauce that uses fresh, natural ingredients.
Well, you mentioned obviously that then as well, like, you know, about like Irish people supporting Irish. Like, is that included with yourself, like with, you know, choosing, you know, ingredients that are locally sourced? And
100%, yeah. Like, it's tough now, to be fair. Like, I work with a lot of producers and importers, but there's no real chilies grown here. Like up north, there's a lot of chili farmers. Habanero Steve's our company up in Bangor, I think. Lovely couple, Olivia and Steve, and they grow their own chilies. There's a few down in Cork as well. There's a few spotted around the country, but not to the quantities I'd need currently anyway. So like I have to import the chilies, but for the better of it, we just source locally. Obviously, it does make it a bit harder because it's sometimes a bit more expensive. Like if you import bigger quantities, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
But hopefully now, knock on wood, in the new year, I'll hopefully be partnering with someone to grow chilies locally in North County Dublin.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Now, I don't know if they'd be the ones that we'd use in our sauce because they'd be smaller quantities. So it could be like I don't know, I'm just thinking of a ghost pepper or something. Wouldn't be that blow the head off you pepper, but like it'd be smaller quantities of a stronger pepper.
Yeah.
So I can kind of make it a limited edition
type of thing.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? But hopefully now one day down the line, that's something I'd like to have, is our own bigger facility and a lot of polytunnels where we can grow them ourselves, you know, because then you're keeping it all in-house and in-country. Not that there's anything wrong with importing or working with foreign producers as well, but if you can keep your, a carbon footprint down and all that good stuff, then happy days. But also it will help local industry in theory, you know, and it just adds to the value of the brand and the product.
Yeah, like you've gone through, I suppose, all the process and the thought behind getting the sauce produced and, you know, ready for tasting. Is there a certain point where you actually physically have to do a taste test, or do you use family, or do you use friends, or?
Yeah, I've lost some friends over the last 2 years. So for the better of it, my friends and family are the initial wave of testers. So I mentioned I was living in London I was there for about nearly 5 years, and that's kind of where I decided to give this a go. I lost my job during COVID, like a lot of people did, but at the same time I was making similar varieties of sauces, but 5 or 6 different ones, and I was very lucky that the 2 lads I lived with were very supportive, and there was points where every single press in the kitchen was just full of chilies being fermented. Some good, some bad. There was one bad time where I was trying to make a really hot sauce for my mate who's in the army, but I used like 5 different hot peppers, and the lads got home earlier than expected, and the whole, like, I was like an episode of Breaking Bad. Honest to God, they're like that with the goggles, and the 2 lads walk in straight to the back, and even the 3 of us were out there for about an hour. Like, you couldn't do it, but thankfully they didn't throw me off the balcony. They were sound about it. Well, friends and family are the initial tasters, which can be good and bad. I think
hypercritical, I suppose.
Yeah, sometimes, and there's always that thing in the back of your head: are they just saying this because this is what I'm doing? Do you know what I mean?
Ways,
But I'm very lucky that my family won't pull any punches. Like, they'll tell you if it's not great at all, you know. And there have been some sauce in the past that they have, but like the 2 that we have there, the Chipotle is my dad's favorite. He was the one who encouraged me to launch that, and then the Louisiana Red's my older brother's favorite as well. So, and the other 2, my sister loves the everyday hot sauce, and then my younger brother loves all of them, you know, so there's something for everyone, really.
Yeah.
Well, I think like talking about taste testers, and we've been lucky enough be able to get an air fryer into the studio
just a bit,
today, and we've got a few sauces that we're going to try out. And for anybody who's watching on Spotify and YouTube, you'll be able to see the mess that we're about to get ourselves into. And we're going to try out your wings, and we're gonna discuss them after that. But looking forward to it now. And for anybody who's listening on any of the other platforms and you haven't had your lunch yet, sorry about you. Let's get into it. Shane, what flavour are we looking at here?
So that's our Chipotle barbecue. It's a smoky, spicy, aromatic barbecue. It's not like your traditional sweet barbecue sauces. So I use Chipotle peppers that are dried, blended up, and then mixed with different spices, fresh tomatoes, fresh onions, garlic, a bit of vinegar as well. But the Chipotle peppers do have a kick to them.
You do, yeah.
But it's not designed to blow the head off you now, but it does have a whack.
Sweet.
And if you mix it with mayonnaise, it comes a really nice Chipotle Southwest sauce. Takes a bit of the heat off it, but keeps all the flavour from the peppers, the garlic, and the tomatoes. Like, I've been using those Chipotle peppers for years, and it's one of my favourite things to work with. Like, your mouth just starts watering. And then a little insight for the inside pod, I'll be releasing 3 different blends of seasonings in a month or 2, and one of them's a Chipotle barbecue seasoning that you can just use as a marinade or just lash on cooked food or cook with it. And it's I use the same peppers blended up. We use minimum amounts of brown sugar in that as well. You can't make a barbecue sauce without brown sugar, but I wanted to try keep it on the lower level to not make it too sweet. So you should get that spicy kick off it, but
a bit of sweetness as well.
Yeah.
And how would you go in full on with your wings straight in, or would you nibble away at them?
It depends. If I've done a long day like the 2 lads have, I'd probably be chewing the bone. But no, I'd just go at it, it depends. If I'm making them at home, and it's good we're having them with wings, because it's one of the 2 things I use to test a new sauce is make it with chicken wings or have it with pizza. And I can always kind of gauge if I like the sauce by how much I go through when I'm trying it. And if you keep going back for more, it's always a good sign.
It's delicious.
So for anybody that's buying this sauce from you, or through any type of wholesaler or shop, if they were to add them to these type of wings, how long would they have a nice meal in front of them? How long would it take?
It's probably half the time it takes to cook them now, to be honest. I like to think so, but like, we whack those wings in the air fryer for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And they're probably gone in a couple of minutes now. The other one now that you'll be trying in a bit, the Louisiana Red, is our twist on a Louisiana style sauce. Mm-hmm. So your Frank's, your Crystal, like that's the Louisiana style hot sauce, but it's more vinegar based than our everyday hot sauce. But if you mix that with butter, it becomes a really nice buffalo sauce.
Nice. Shane, just to strip it back, how do I start if I want to do something like this?
A lot of brown envelopes.
Are you looking for a job, Dan?
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, you just start small, to be honest. So I was making them for years, but I know people, food producers I've met over the years that have always had an idea. The simple answer is start with the idea, fine tune it, I reached out, and I always recommend to reach out to the local enterprise office. They're free support that everyone has. Every council has one, and speak to them. You don't have to have the idea finalised, but if you have to have an idea of what you want to do, and then there's different enterprise programs like the Super Value Food Academy, there's the Aldi Kick or Little Kickstarter now as well, and you could just deep dive into that. Like the Super Value Food Academy, it's like an 8-month program. You could be a new stage idea, you could be an existing, you could be trading, but they show you from A to B or A to Z of how to get up and going. But you just have to think of something you want to do, and then
The Keith's apprentices are in now. What's the gauge on that?
Well, I'm looking at bones here in front of me, so it's a good sign.
And the lads want to go get a bottle. Where can we get them?
Great question. So predominantly at the moment we're in select super values on the north side, probably be expanding onto the south side next week. And another inside scoop for you, we'll be going nationwide with Tesco on the 4th of November into 58 shops across Ireland.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. As I said today was delivery day. I've won a few pallets and it was a bit of a nightmare, but it's all part of the process. We do have the website where the full range is on. So the Louisiana Red isn't any retail outlets just yet. But that's predominantly where we are. And we're in a lot of independents as well, but we'll be expanding over the next 6 months, hopefully.
What's the next sauce we're getting in next?
The Louisiana Red. So it has a bit more of a kick to it, I think. It's a roast. So I get cayenne peppers in that, and I roast them over fire, mix it with garlic, 2 different types of garlic, and then dried seasons and more vinegar. I didn't have any of our everyday hot sauce because it's all with our retail partners at the moment, and we have a salsa. But the everyday hot sauce is a fermented chili, same ingredients, just it's fermented and has a lot more of a punch to it. Whereas that's a bit of a thinner consistency, more in line with Louisiana style sauce. It's not exactly like it; it's still a bit thicker, but you should get the roast cayenne flavour off it, and that does a bit of a kick to it now.
Yes, what we'll do now then is we'll just get into the next one.
Yeah.
Right, Shane, what are we looking at here?
So this is our latest sauce, Louisiana Red, we call it, our twist on the Louisiana hot sauce. So the cayenne peppers are roasted over a fire, mixed with fresh garlic, spices and vinegar. So it's a bit more vinegary than our other hot sauce, but like all of our sauces, it's not designed to take the head off you, but it does have a bit of a kick. But it's to appeal to more of the people who aren't great with spice without like being dull in spice. You know, you want to have packed with flavour and hopefully a bit of a kick as well. But similar to the Chipotle barbecue, if you mix that with mayonnaise, comes a really nice chili mayo because it has like the kick off and all the flavours of garlic, but you don't lose the flavour, but you do lose a bit of the kick from the mayonnaise. And if you want to make a buffalo sauce with it, you mix it with butter, let the butter melt, and then pour that over wings when they're done. Yeah. And the butter cooks back into the wings, and it's lovely, yeah. If I wasn't crunched with time, I was going to make it today, but we'll have to come back and do an episode for that.
It's fresh, like you get that, like barbecue, like summertime feel of it, don't you? Like it's really,
it's lovely.
The hot sauce goes really well with fish as well. I think the everyday hot sauce would be more, it'd be better for like oysters or that, the way like sometimes they give it Tabasco with it. That would be more in line with it, but I think they'd all go well with them.
Well, the 2 boys aren't saying much, so it must be be nice.
Good or bad signs.
Yeah, lovely. I think that'd be my type of more style than the other one. Definitely get that type roasted type feeling off it. Lovely.
Not too spicy.
No, not too spicy. It's actually bang on.
I get Keith to get the air fryer out on site now, yeah?
Yeah, if he gets the air fryer, that'd be definitely going in the lunchbox.
It'll be all over our clients' walls and everything.
all over the van.
Smeared all over the walls. When you open these bottles, how long do they last?
Like most sauces, 3 to 4 weeks. But I'd be surprised if they last that long. From you eating them, like.
Exactly, yeah.
But that's something that I'm really proud of. So we've a year shelf life on all of our products, which was a goal or a task that I want to set myself. It's hard to create a food product without using stabilizers or additives or preservatives.
Yeah.
So they're all just fresh ingredients. The only preservative we use is vinegar. So we've currently got a year confirmed shelf life, but they're getting constantly updated, and we should get 2 years. And that'd be something I'd be really happy with. Because like Tabasco, I think have a 2 or 3 year shelf life. But they have a 5-year pre-process and we don't. So it's a fine line, but it's like that would be another milestone, if you will, or that would be another moment of like, right, we're doing something right here,
Thanks very much for that.
No, my pleasure. Thanks for trying it and for giving us the review.
Yeah.
It's the magic of having a beard as well, isn't it? You can keep a bit for after.
Yeah.
You'll be picking that out tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, look, there's a great bit of conversation there, and that's something new that's been sort of opened up with myself and Keith, just doing this today. And we want to thank you for that as well, for giving us the opportunity to be able to get in and actually do a bit of live taste and live reviewing. It's something that myself and Keith have never really opened ourselves up to doing on the podcast, and I think that dynamic has worked really well tonight.
Yeah, and having, how many of us was there? 5 different tasties, if you want to call us, with victims. Yeah. But no, it was brilliant.
No need to thank me. Like, I really enjoyed that, and it was great crack as well, to be honest. Like,
yeah,
obviously good feedback for my products as well, and good opportunity to get that feedback. But I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, and it's coming from, hungry men that have been working all day and
I starved them all
Yeah.
day knowing that they were coming in.
the window was knocking there, like they wanted to end the interview early because they wanted to get in and eat a few wings. But look, I think like even having the feedback from the people in the room there, Dan, our trusty security guard here, people don't see him behind the scenes, getting us in and out of here, like I mentioned, and he asked some great questions there as well, like which is like shows a lot of interest for the brand as well. You know what I mean? And it's somebody who sees people coming in and out of these offices, every week, every Thursday. You know what I mean? And he's probably dying to ask them a couple of questions, like. But I think, like what he mentioned there, like about scaling the business and seeing where you could take it or where could it go. Like, is that something that you even think about, or are you just living in the moment right now?
Kind of both, to be honest. It's always been in the back of my mind of the next step, and you have to have a vision of where you'd like to take it. But if you're not present in the moment, you're never going to achieve that vision, I think. And you have to have a plan to achieve it, which I can be very bad at times. You can lose days very quickly. But to what we briefly touched on with Dan, like scaling is the goal. Like, as I said, I really enjoy cooking and making sauce, but I don't want to spend every waking moment cooking sauce and bottling it and labeling it, which I'm currently doing, which is fine. But if I want to be an international brand, which I'd like to in the next 5 years, if we can get there sooner, happy days. But in order for me to achieve that, I'm going to need to hire people and put a team into place and delegate a lot of the work, which I'm happy to. But I think that'll be a bit of a...
Once the foundations are done, you can probably hand it over a bit.
Yeah, but I think you're right, yeah. And I also think it could be something I might struggle with. Not in a bad way, but it'll just be an adjustment, like I've been building this for a few years. So it's something my sister said to me recently, that you kind of just need to put the trust in someone, which I'm happy to. But like up till now, I'm probably still not in a position to hire someone. Like I need to be hired myself, technically. Yeah. But I'm working with the council and the local enterprise office and to hopefully get some grants and some financial support. And then off the back of continued expansion, please God, over the next 6 months, that it'll allow me to then put a team into place and to really scale things up over the next year or two.
Yeah, and how important is networking when it comes to that? Like, like you have all these, like in our game, there's trade shows and, like we'd have the likes of, a trade show in the RDS, or we'd go over to England for a couple of trade shows. How important is it for you, like, to be able to link in with, like Blasnaharan or something like that, like, and head down to different parts of Ireland and actually meet other like-minded people like yourself, like, in order to help you, take something away from, even knowledge from them or contacts and to help your business grow?
It's huge. You basically, someone answered your own question there in my mind, like without having those opportunities to network and to meet other producers. The Blasnaharan team in their own are a massive supporter of Irish producers, small to large, but like going to those events or connecting with the Dublin food chain is a fantastic organisation run by the local enterprise office, or getting connected with those networks. It makes it a lot harder. I'm sure you could do it, but I think it would be a lot harder and it's a bit more isolating then. Like I've met an uncountable amount of amazing Irish in Dublin and local producers and food businesses and people who've been in the industry for 20, 30 years and now they're in a role of mentors or do mentorship for people. And if you don't put yourself out there into those events, be it trade shows, which I'm doing a lot more this year, or networking events, or going to the awards, like you mentioned, Blasnaharan, like I go to that every year, regardless of our award, for us getting through, because, excuse me, it's an excuse to get down to Dingle, which I love anyway, but you have the opportunity to meet some of the best producers in Ireland, and some of the best, or the smartest and brightest people in the food industry, be it currently in the industry producing their own product, or say 20, 30 years of experience. Like Blasnaharan, there are a lot of these things, backyard sessions where they'll have experts from the industry talking and sharing their knowledge. So it's invaluable. But also as a new food business and any new business, you need to build brand awareness and you need to get the brand out there. And I think the more people see you out there and both recognizing your brand and food product, but also recognizing the work you're putting into it. I think it makes them more inclined to come on board and become a customer or supporter.
I was just thinking that, like, just listening to you there, logistically, obviously having to produce it, bottle it, keep the networking going, deliver it, keep the networking going, get into all these, festivals or what be it. But do you do anything for yourself outside of the business? I'm asking that as a business owner, so I know the struggles, the first couple of years trying to get the ball rolling with it,
Yes and no. Like I don't know. I want a family at some point. I'd like to be married and have kids down the line. I currently don't, so it allows me the freedom of being a weirdo sitting in the kitchen for 6 days a week.
Mad scientist.
Yeah, kind of like that. But it's something I've definitely struggled with at times. You can come... you could almost say I'm going to hate myself for saying this now, but you can get lost in the sauce, if you will. And then I end up hyper focusing on the product or the company, and I do find myself isolating or cut myself away from people. But I think my friends and family understand I'm trying to achieve something. Yeah, it's still an uphill battle every day and every week, but it'll be worthwhile, hopefully. So I do struggle sometimes to not do stuff. I definitely could do it a bit more fitness now, getting out and exercising a bit more and just getting away from the kitchen. But like I do have a good network of friends and family that I'd be chatting to most of the lads most days as well, which helps. But like I'm 33 now, it's not like back in the 20s where you could text someone and next thing there's 15 years going to the pub. You know yourselves. Like you have families, so it's I'm sure you can definitely understand that your time is very limited. But I'm in the somewhat lucky position that I can probably dedicate a bit more of my time to it. Yeah. With the hope of the business growing and then me hopefully having a family down the line.
It sounds like you have to as well. Like
yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I think anyone, and yourself included, like anyone that's, or even you guys building the podcast, like you have to have some level of dedication and commitment to it in order to make it a success. Like even if you're doing something small every day, and they all saying one step forward is better than no steps at all, and I definitely do believe that. Like if you don't do anything, you're only going to hurt yourself. You sit on the couch, do nothing, which I love, don't get me wrong. But it could hurt you down 2-3 weeks down the line. Like it's just myself in it. So if I don't do it, I don't want to paint the picture that I'm just non-stop on this. Like I am of late, but you still have to find time to de-stress and disconnect from what you're doing. Otherwise you'll just be burnt out.
Yeah, it's with the view that it'll let up. It'll look after itself,
Hopefully, yeah. And as I said to you earlier, I want to build a team and hopefully build a community down the line around it. So in theory, as you just said, like put the work in now and it'll be worthwhile down the line, hopefully.
Yeah, and
definitely going the right direction.
At the end of the day, like myself and Keith, like what you mentioned with the podcast, we come in here on a Thursday, and we enjoy what we're doing. And I think once you're enjoying what you're doing, it makes a whole difference to it. It's not a slog for us, and it's, we feel like that. At least if we're contributing back to something in regards to the trades or sharing a story that somebody has to tell, and if anybody can take a little snippet of that, and motivate themselves to do something, or take a bit of inspiration from it, then we're sort of contributing to something positive. And I think what you're doing as well is you're contributing to something positive within the food culture of Dublin and Ireland, and hopefully worldwide eventually.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, but also I massively agree with what you just said about your own show. It's kind of one of the reasons I reached out to you. You touch on a lot of different industries and you have guests from all sorts of walks in life, but I think just from meeting you and from watching your show and listening to your show, I think you're very supportive and you're here. I could be wrong now, but I'm pretty sure you still you want to help people. You're using your platform to help other people and vice versa. And I think, excuse me, in this day and age where a lot of people can just be a bit Mayfainers.
Yeah.
Jeez, that Louisiana's caught me.
I was afraid I was going to do that.
No, I think there's a chili pepper or a chili seed.
Look, we do appreciate like any kind words that come our ways. We have the Irish, motto, isn't it? Where you just, you knock it off, don't you? And you just,
But sometimes when you start something, you surprise yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're kind of you go into things that you thought you might not have done originally. Like I know that's the way I feel with the podcast.
Yeah, it just opens new doors, and you nearly second guess what you're doing. In the sense of if somebody's giving you the compliments, you just feel like what you mentioned before, like with the tasting and stuff like that. Are they just saying it just to say it? But it's something like us Irish, we just can't take them, and I just think it keeps us grounded as well, which I think is a good thing. But listen,
I'd agree with you there. Yeah, I think as an Irish people as well, we're great. We like to be humble, like we're not bragging. Like remember the Olympians who won recently?
Yeah.
They were like, sure, it's grand, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they just won the Olympics. Like,
I know, playing it down.
Yeah, we're not going to be talking about it, you know. But I definitely get the impression from you two as well that you do want to use, as I said, use your platform to help other people, and it definitely comes across that way, you know. So it's brilliant, and that's why I do really appreciate the opportunity to come on and. I was thought I'd be pepper spraying you, but I think I'm getting attacked.
No, we love having it. And listen, Shane, for anybody who has come onto this podcast and has graced our studio or graced even, the phone conversations that we've had with them, we always ask them the most important question to finish it out. And it's, what is your song choice to go onto our Spotify playlist?
Oh, damn, you didn't let me... that's a tough one. Like, there's a few coming to my mind now. What's the general genre of the playlist?
It's mixed.
It's mayhem.
Can I look up my Spotify here and choose a song?
Yeah, 100%. I think like we start push people.
I've the mind of a goldfish at the best of time, and I'm after rubbing hot sauce in my eyes.
Red hot chili peppers.
Yeah, that would have been the obvious option. Sorry, I shouldn't be cursing.
No holds barred.
I'm gonna just go. The one that came to my head there was "Guilty Conscience," Eminem, Dr. Dre. So I was just listening to that on the way over, and I'm definitely after rubbing sauce in my eyes. So
what we'll say is "Guilty Conscience," Eminem, Dr. Dre. Shane, thanks very much for coming on the podcast. We're going to get you to the bathroom as quick as we can. Water in your eye. And look, myself and
Stephen's going for a shower.
Yeah.
No, cheers, lads. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for coming.
Brilliant.
Great chat. Cheers, Shane.
Look, we wish you the best, obviously, for the rest of your adventure and the
We'll
business
definitely be
venture.
keeping an eye out for you.
Yeah, and we appreciate you coming in and sharing your time and your product with us.
No, thank you. Genuine, lads. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been a good way. It's even rubbing hot sauce in my eye there now.
Yeah.
It's been a nice way to spend a Thursday, and I do really appreciate the opportunity and the platform, sharing your platform to get the brand out. And I wish you all the best in the awards coming up. Fingers crossed for all the categories. And keep doing what you're doing. It's brilliant. And thanks again.
Cheers.
Thanks, Shane.